Hello, welcome to game 5 against Cave-O-Sapien. We have an interesting kingdom on the board. There were two paths that I saw here. One is the Ironworks Silk Road path. You rush down the Ironworks Silk Roads and Estates to finish the game very quickly with a points lead. The other way is to try to play some number of bridge trolls. Probably make use of Silk Merchants along the way here. So out the gate, we open, both of us, I could move this along to the opening because it's identical. We move open with Ironworks and Silver. Now, I don't think that's bad, but maybe Silk Merchant is better, and you'll see why here. So I have 3, which is not great. 4 is much better than 3 here. I am just going to take another Silver instead. Now, Cave here pulls down a Silk Merchant, passes it back to me. So the critical part is that they saw their Ironworks early. I did not. And I see it here, and critically, I am not able to get a sentry here. And that was kind of the plan opening with the silver and the ironworks. I thought that was enough to get me to 5 for a sentry. Obviously, there's some chance that it could miss, and it missed for me here, but maybe the silk merchant and silver is better for getting to 5, and then you get the ironworks. In retrospect, that is my thought now. So anyways, I get my silk merchant here, unable to get the sentry, which is very, very bad, but I can get another 4, and it will be another silk merchant to try to help accelerate things. And critically, Cave on turn 4 is able to get a sentry. So they use their coffer from the silk merchant, which they gain on the turn prior, to get up to the 5 that they need for the sentry, and that is going to turn out to be a very, very big deal. Play my silk merchant, draws me my ironworks. Will take a hideout to help with the trashing, because now I'm behind on the trashing, so I need to add cards in my deck that'll help me catch up to Cave, and I buy a sentry. So Cave plays their sentry, trashes 2 estates out the deck. Brilliant sentry for them. They have to be happy about that. Buys another sentry. I am also going to buy a sentry here. So they have played their sentry once and it's trashed 2 cards from the deck. Very good for them. We have the same number of sentries now though, so hopefully I can catch up. I have the hideout as well. So Silk Merchant for Cave, and they go for their first bridge troll. Perfectly reasonable. That I think is absolutely correct there. Silk Merchant draws me into money for my bridge troll. So okay so far, but this was kind of heartbreaking, this shuffle. I was hoping here to see these sentries. As it turns out, they are at the bottom of the deck and will miss the shuffle. And in the meantime, Cave has played sentry twice and 3 times on Cake turn 7, trashing 2 cards from their deck. So they've trashed 4 cards from their deck. I have trashed 0. Bleak. Very, very bleak here. 2 silk merchants. The bridge troll comes down critically. And they go for another silk merchant here. They can pick up a hideout, and they do. Ironworks is going to get me another silk merchant. I do find the hideout at least, so that won't miss the shuffle, but I still don't see any sentry. Had I seen a sentry there, still it wouldn't have missed the shuffle, but not to be this game. So we are way, way, way behind. And Cave is just going to take that trashing advantage and use it to its fullest potential here. The sentries come out 4th and 5th times, trashing 3 cards total. Ironworks gains a bridge troll, draws back that bridge troll immediately, sticks it into play. The game looks done, right? We look cooked already. Another silk merchant, another bridge troll for Cave there. And there's not much I could do here. And there's not much I could have done. I think the only thing I could have done was to open silk merchant and silver instead of ironworks and silver to increase my chances of getting to 5. If you get to 5 with the ironworks and silver, that's great, right? You get a gain of the ironworks already, but you do have to balance that with your chances and how critical the sentry is. So Cave by now is probably completely clean. Now their ironworks can gain bridge trolls, can gain distant lands, whatever they like on the board, and then put them into play. couple bridge trolls come into play for them here. And it's not clear to me how I'm going to even try to eke out a win here. They get another bridge troll and another hideout, and my deck is still full of junk cards. Junk cards. Arguably, I should have trashed that silver there because I don't need it anymore. I get my bridge troll into play, trash a card. There's not much I can do, really. I am at a loss for what to do here. They have so many gains, so many buys, so many bridge trolls in play, so they can take advantage of those buys. I get a sacrifice, but that's inconsequential, really. Sacrifice doesn't matter. I wanted to trash some silk merchants because I'm running out of villagers. Nothing I buy matters here at this point, I think. I keep on playing because I need the 6 points, right? Maybe Cave does something, leaves a pile out for me. Maybe. That's the only thing I can hope for, that they'd make some grave mistake and then I am able to capitalize on it. So, you know, on the off chance it happens, let's give them the opportunity to make said grave mistake. As it is, they're not doing that. They managed to get 5 trolls in play, 8 buys. Wow. That's a critical number. 5 trolls is a critical number. They were very close there to ending the game. 4 trolls and 4 hideouts would end the game, but because I trashed so poorly, I have the estates left. So I have the points advantage, which turns out to be helpful. In this case, helpful in the sense I get one more turn to play. So here they just not pile, but they get cards that are useful to the deck, like sentries and sacrifices, without leaving a 3 pile for me. Maybe another ironworks they could have picked up, but they are so far ahead. Doesn't really matter if they get the ironworks or not. So some number of sacrifices and sentries just to help stabilize their deck, which is already stable, but you know, why not? So here I try to draw through to get to my bridge troll after burn a lot of my villagers along the way here, which is a bit sad, but what can you do? I get a bridge troll and I have a long think here, but really there's no reason for me to have this long think. I was thinking, okay, they have 8 buys and a gain, which is 9 gains. How many points can I take here with and force them to give me another turn? But this was nonsense. I spent most of the time thinking about how many estates I can buy. And while I did calculate correctly, buying estates doesn't help me win the game, because for some reason I blanked out that they had 5 bridge trolls in play, or they can put 5 bridge trolls into play. So they very easily can just empty the duchies, which is a huge points lead. And there's nothing I could do about that. There's absolutely nothing I could do about that. So I will just skip this part because there's a lot of thinking about nothing consequential. I do end up taking 2 estates, trying to leave the estate pile out as an option for me on the next turn, in case for some reason they stall. I don't know how they stall. I don't think it's even possible for them to stall. But anyways, they do not stall, which is expected, and they see most of their deck, or at least up to 5 bridge trolls, which is enough to make that impactful play of getting all the duchies. So the bridge trolls come down. There's even 6 of them, which, okay, the difference between 5 and 6 here is not important, but they do eventually make the play. They can't end the game, so I did calculate correctly. I think they could do 6 estates, 2 trolls, and a duchy, but that just ties. They don't want to tie. They shouldn't take the tie in this position. They have all the advantage in the world. So they do take all the duchies, and I can't do anything. Cannot do anything. I do some nonsense on my turn, and then Cave ends it on their next turn. So we do not accomplish our quest of going 6-0 here. We drop 1 game. Hopefully we could pick up the next game and make it a little bit more difficult for Cave to pass me in the overall group standing. So yeah, the deck is garbage, does garbage things, distant lands. It doesn't matter what I buy here. And then Cave is able to clean up the game, picking up the last 2 bridge trolls. So that is how game 5 ends. Thank you for watching. and I will see you in the final game of this season of the Dominion League.